welcome to our week and to Marilyn Horse. And Marilyn, we've got to start with the lovely Angela. And it's back to bite more than Angela. There's lots going on here because, of course, she's backed by the left wing of the party and the trade unions, which means the Labour Party. Sir Keir's got to be very careful. On one level, yes, he can get rid of her, but she will have to be voted out or in as leader of the party representative, let's call it. Bit complicated, but it's a problem that I wouldn't wish on anybody, even Sir Keir. Do I mean that? But perhaps not. It's interesting times, and later today we will know.
They reckon by lunchtime. By lunchtime. I mean, she has been caught with her pants down, hasn't she? With this conveyancing firm that she said that she'd asked tax advice, and they've come out and said we never gave any advice at all.
What
So
a penny pincher to go to a conveyancing
well, I suppose for the
behind
sale,
behind the co-op.
well, for the purchase of the place, you would go to a conveyancing thing, wouldn't you? And she's obviously used them. But I mean, she's housing minister. Doesn't she understand how it works? I mean, she should have gone to a tax accountant and said, how does this work? I mean, it can't be beyond the wit of man. There should have been someone within their own party. But it's at the very least, it's hypocrisy. And you cannot have people as housing minister. You've got, that's the trouble with politics, isn't it? If you have a senior role, you have got to be whiter than white. And it will leave a stain. Even if she stays, there will.
Oh, yes, it's not going to go away this
It's
one.
not going to go away just because whatever Keir Starmer does. Now, he did say yesterday that he would, if it was, proved to be that she has done a wrong thing, then he promised, listen to this, promised she would go. Well, we know he breaks his promises, so that's probably a lot of hot air.
Yes.
And then today he said he's the one that gets to decide. Well, he needs to be, as you say, he needs to be very careful. But to break up the trust as well, I mean, the son, I didn't know she had a disabled son, which is very sad. But to break that up in order to do this, I don't know. It doesn't feel right, does it? It just doesn't feel right.
No, it doesn't. I mean, there's with the best will in the world, you pull out and you give to the judge and jury, which this time is the nation, all the sympathy that you can.
And the media will not stop until she's gone. I always say this, the media run the country, actually. How many times have we seen people go because the media won't let it drop?
Now, we criticise the mainstream media quite a lot. But in certain things, they do get hold of things like governments wouldn't.
Absolutely. And I mean, GB News are all over it. I mean, they are not going to. There was a hilarious thing yesterday of I put it out on X, actually. It looked better than what she normally wears. Patrick Christie had this photo of Angela Rayner with a big slice of toast dressed against her. And I put it on Twitter, actually suits her. It's a lot better than her awful dress sense.
Oh, bless her. I mean, they keep showing the same clip, don't they? Walking into Downing Street in this horrible green dress.
She's just gross.
And I mean, with the greatest respect, Angela, you look like a sack of Edwards in that.
She's
absolutely
awful. It's absolutely awful. And I just, and I'm sick of this, like, she came from like a council house, and so did a lot of
This
MPs.
is the important thing. You see, the socialist regime rejoice in what's happened to Angela. She's got all the badges. Single parent mum, coming out of school with more children, as you know, than GCSEs. That's a terrible thing to say, but it's also factual. But Labour has rescued her. This is a person that should be on the scrap heap. But no, look at her now. So they're all now thinking, oh dear.
I just don't. I mean, I get sick of this. Oh, she represents this sort of class of people. She doesn't represent anybody other than herself. And that isn't very pretty. So I do get fed up with this and like, oh, it's a real example to people that, you can come out of nothing and be something. Well, we already know that Keir Starmer was the son of a toolmaker. Well, I refrain from adding to that. But, I don't think there's lots of people who have, lots of MPs that have had come from, very humble beginnings. And there's loads of people that come from single parent families, and some people are single parent because one of the parents has died, and you still bring them up okay. It's ridiculous. I mean, the mantra drives me mad.
Yep, exactly that. I'm going to go over to the States. And do you realize 250 years ago, it all started in America? That's their history, 250 years ago. And that's why they come over to Britain to see some real history.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're changing their minds about Britain as we speak, as you know. But significant stats coming out of America this very week. In the last period, since friend Trump was there, actual population has gone down. It's never done in 250 years. The population have already grown, always grown rather, throughout the 250 years. And for the first year, last year, it's decreased, not by much, but it's actually decreasing because, of course, Mr. Trump, President Trump, has sealed the border. No
Yeah.
more illegal migrants,
Mm,
please.
mm, mm.
And look at Britain. I was watching a program, nothing to do with politics, yesterday, and it was just somebody talking to camera, piece to camera, and it was on an average high street in an average village, Little England. Great. The traffic jams.
Yeah.
Nobody could move. It's through the whole country. Nobody can move. Potholes to dodge, towns to dodge, motorways to dodge. Britain is full.
I mean, I was working at a school all day on Tuesday, and because the M1 is always awful, I thought, right, I will get up at 6, I'll leave at 7, and I only had to go to Maidenhead, which shouldn't be any more than an hour and a half tops from where I live, yeah. So I got on the road at 7. By 10 past 7, when I was about to head off to the M1, my sat nav already said gridlocked. And I thought, right, so it took me down the B roads through Toddington and off, and then it's at M25 gridlocked. This is only at like 7, half past 7 in the morning. So they took me all the way to Maidenhead from where I live on B roads. Ever so pretty, but I mean, at that time in the morning, gridlocked.
Yeah. No, it's a full sign going up on the shop window. We are full.
Mm.
Right, moving off to well, I say we're coming back really over the water and looking at the demonstrations. Well, I have had a little bit of time to watch television yesterday. Don't usually, but there you go. And having said that, I was struck by the demonstrations. It was a reprise, if you wish, of demonstrations, and especially the pink ladies and the hotel situation and whatnot. But I noticed and I thought, well, hang on, they are demonstrating peacefully.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And there's very few people that would disagree with them. But, they were there on every day. The other side, well, you can give your point of view in a demonstration, but it appears to be the same renter mob. And when they're interviewed, they are just, you press the button and out comes a rant. And they're using the same phrases. And they'll turn up of anything from just stop oil or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is a mob that shouldn't be there. They've got no commitment for
Absolutely. They just want to kick off.
they do. And I'm thinking, well, I'm sorry, the police should be putting their attention not to taking the union flag down, but to people like this.
Yes.
Clearly, well, when they're interviewed, they don't make any sense. They're using the same cliche every time. You think that could apply to the Gaza, it could apply to Just Stop Oil Brigade, whatever. And don't the police, well, they must realize who these people are. They're just agitators.
No, that's the right word. That's absolutely the right word. They are agitators, and that is a brilliant word in English language. Agitate. You get people, it's a brilliant word that, and that is what they are.
Yeah.
They are, and it's
Aggravators, same thing.
yes, they are, and it's not right because those people who are going ahead with peaceful protests, it's any excuse, just any excuse to have a punch up. That's what they're not affiliated to anything really other than have
Oh,
a punch up.
aggravation. Quite right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. This program is mixed with food and good advice and health for a bit of light relief. Let's go in there now, and we're going to. I'm saying it's still political. We're looking at these high energy drinks, the Red Bulls and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that. They've done a lot for Grand Prix racing. That's good. But now the government has stepped in, as it would, because nanny state on steroids we have. You've got to be 16. No, to buy. That's what they want to impose
Really?
on us. Yes, because it's damaging you. Well, it's not good for you. The amount of caffeine is extraordinary,
And it must have sugar in it as well,
and
don't they?
the
Red
amount
Bull?
of sugar is
Yeah, it must be.
indescribable.
I've never drunk one, but it must be, I would
You know,
imagine.
much. I mean, it gives you a zap,
Yeah,
but then you come down from the spike and it gives you the opposite.
yeah.
So
Like
it
anything else, it's
halts.
almost like a drug, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and even the supermarkets hitherto have actually said it's not a good idea. So they tend to put them on the bottom shelf rather than the mid shelf, put it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
So they're doing their bit. But for the government to come along and say, right, come on, if you're under 16, you will not be allowed. That's the state interfering
Yes, it is crazy.
with parenting
Mm,
again.
yeah,
And
yeah,
this
absolutely.
very
I mean,
weak one.
I mean, crack it, it's your own body. You can do what you want, can't you? I mean, really, you can't. And then do they honestly think, like anything else when we were kids, you get your older brother or sister to go and stuff from the off license and they give it to you. You just get older kids, older people to get the Red Bull in the trolley, even their own parents. So
Yes,
it doesn't mean they're not going to drink it. They just find another way of doing it.
of course they do.
It's exactly the same. I was at the school the other day with the online safety bill thing that, at the moment, the guy, we had a graph of a spike. And this is another thing I'm just trying to explain about how you divert and get other ways. Within 4 days of the online safety bill really hammering on pornography and age range, the spike is massive with VPNs, and they're going round the back of it and getting it that way. So I mean, they will always find a way, whatever it is, cigarettes, booze, whatever it is, they'll find a way. You intent on getting it, there's somebody that will do it for you.
Right. But the control concerns me.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean,
And
you are. I agree with you. I mean, it's yes. I mean, they'll find a way of doing it, but do they really need to? And in fact, in a way, I think by doing it, that it almost makes it more attractive to a teenager to try and want it.
we've got nanny state, of course, as
Oh,
we
absolute nanny
on
state.
steroids at the moment,
Yeah.
and it's getting worse. And this very week, it's been confirmed that get ladies back to work because it's good for the economy. It might be good for the economy, but it's not good for the family. That has been proven. I know I'm not being popular when I say that, but that is another fact that we're never given. If you're giving straight up, well, you can have 6 weeks, and then we're going to pay you up to 30 hours a week for child care immediately, so that you can get back to work. It is
I think
not a
also it
stable
could, I think
society.
it could also cause some sort of postnatal depression as well, to be honest, because when you've had the baby, you're different. And to give your baby, I mean, my daughter had to. I mean, she was in Dubai and she had to go back to work, and it was something like 6 weeks. You had to go back. That was it. You had to go back to work. There was no maternity leave or anything like that, or maternity money. And I have a personal thing with this at the moment, this I find it very distressing. As you know, my daughter-in-law and son have a disabled baby, and her maternity leave finishes this month. Now, so disabled that she has to take the baby to clinics and this, that, and the other. And and yet she has to work in order to be able to put her into a special nursery and for special needs. Anyway, she went to see her boss, and this company is an actuarial company, and it's been taken over by a big company called Hanson, which I think sponsors, is it sponsors rugby or sponsors a football team? I can't remember. I've seen the logo on the shirts, and of course she can't go back. She worked 5 days a week, and she can't do 5 days a week because she has this disabled baby. So she's gone in and said, "Oh, I can't do the 5 days a week. I can only really do three." And the boss, who's a woman and a mother, has said, "Oh no, no, no! You said you'd come back for 5 days, but I can't." And she said, "Well, come back with another agreement then." So she's pushing, thinking, "Well, maybe I can do 4 days." And they owe her a lot of holiday. So she didn't like working there anyway. And she said, "Well, I could do 4 days, but as I've got so much holiday, I'll take every Friday off until I've used off my holiday." No, no, can't accept that. Well, she said, "Can I now, we've been taken over by this big company, can I, maybe do something else? I'm not hooked on being in charge of events. I'm not hooked on that. But, well, you'll have to have a pay drop. But there must be other roles I can do." So now I said to her, "Is it constructive dismissal?" And apparently it isn't, because she's the one that's saying she can't do it. So she has broken her contract for very, very sad reasons. But I mean, it's a nightmare, as if they haven't got enough problems with this baby who may never walk. It's awful. There's no humanity at all. And of course, this woman, who's the boss, is more worried about keeping her own job because the big company will have their own marketing and events team. So she'll probably lose her job. But I mean, it's just so tough. And of course, if you don't fulfill it, then you have to pay back all the maternity money that you got.
It is a nightmare, and
It's a nightmare.
can I say again that these are legal nightmares when you analyze them.
Yes.
The law cannot solve our problems,
No.
the United Kingdom or any other problem. We have lost completely our moral compass.
It was absolutely, and our empathic compass, and our, nobody, she didn't ask for. The last thing you want is a disabled child. I mean, it's just so, so sad. And I mean, it's just awful. I mean, it's giving them so much stress. And there's no empathy. This woman, absolute cow.
Well, yes. Right, we move on to a scam that's developing and a story that's developing. And well done, the BBC. We've said it twice in 1 week.
Yes.
Yeah.
We must be losing our touch.
Well, yeah, but they do have some decent journalists in there.
Yes, they do.
It's
They
the
do.
controllers, as usual, that get it wrong consistently. And they've highlighted something that has been obvious for a while. And if you analyze it, it's another post office type scam. And the story thus far, we've got to be careful what we say because there's obviously more legals coming in the future, is that footballers, as we know, earn a lot of money. Some of us say far too much money. I'm amongst the crowd that say that. It's got ridiculous player power. It's got
It's
stupid
obscene. I mean, the last transfer window was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
billions, in fact.
Yeah, awful.
Yeah, and the player power. If somebody doesn't want to play football, he gets away with it. Well, hang on, what's your contract say? Don't care. But this is a very delicate situation from some of the footballers' points of view. This started, of course, when the Premier League came about, and suddenly their wages were incredible compared with previously, which weren't bad. But because of people's sponsorship, etc., they are paid ridiculous amounts of money. And we've got to look at what they do. Oh, it's only a short time that I can play football. Yeah, that's okay. You should be paid a bit more because of that. But that's overplayed because they either go on the circuit and recount their stories and make a lot of money, or they're pundits and make even more money. There are jobs after the death of their football career, if you wish, for the erudite ones anyway. And having said that, they are guided by various people, some of them wrong uns, into placing their money into trusts, into investments, so that they've got a pension, basically. It might start when you're 40, but all right, good luck to you. But there are naughty companies around that will take money, and there's one here. And they've been pointed towards an investment trust, which started off okay, and then it got out of hand. They started buying properties overseas, which were very stupid. They didn't do their homework, their local homework. The fund eventually, long story, shut down, and the players have lost an absolute fortune. Now, nobody feels sorry for them. I do, because
Well, I do.
it's only the top players that are earning mega money.
Oh,
But
these are
even
just
they can't
ordinary.
afford to lose £5 million, badumph.
These are very ordinary guys. They're not the David Beckhams, but they have done a massive amount of football, and I feel desperately sorry for them. And I also think what when I was watching it, well, as you say, we have to be delicate, but there is a manager who was part of this particular asset
Allegedly
company,
part of it.
allegedly,
We will mention Howard Wilkinson,
and he was recommending it to the
and
players.
he was recommending it. So the players can't be expected to do due diligence as much as we'd like them to. And they say, oh, well, if he's done it, if my boss has done it, if
Yeah,
my
yeah.
friend has done it, we'll have a go. It looks okay. It wasn't. And if they'd have gone to a decent company who'd have said, this is a new investment, it's very dodgy, put a little bit of money with it if you've got spare, but not, but they didn't. They put a lot of money in. Now, the people, yes, we do feel sorry for them, even the rich guys, but the people that were earning the average football wage, which is still blooming good, they've lost everything. The one thing that struck me in all this is HMRC, our tax office in the United Kingdom. They are wicked people, and I know this from personal experience. And they don't care. They're just after promotion, and they're just after their fat bonuses. And they don't care about the right and the wrong, whether it was the footballer's fault, which it certainly wasn't. Unwise, yeah, but it's not their fault. The real villains of this are the people that set up this scheme.
Yes.
Those that said, oh, it's a good idea, go into it. And HMRC literally have come along and taken houses off them.
Yeah.
And they are destitute now, some of them. And the real people, HMRC, I'll give you an example. Before, this is many years ago, and it has been going on many years. Oh, by the way, the other good bit of news is that this very year, I understand that 6,000 more people, more civil service jobs are being applied just to the tax office. So it's only going to get worse, folks, for everybody,
Absolutely. Yeah.
not just the rich, but the surveillance is enormous. Anyway, we have business interest in hosteleria. That's Spanish, isn't it? Hospitality in English. And we left in charge what we thought was a reputable person for a number of our outlets. He wasn't. He had a history, a police history, and HMRC. Well, we can't complain with the tax office. They have got very clever algorithms, and they pick up from what you earn in a restaurant, as an example, what your profit margin is on average. And they found out that a third of the money was going missing. Now, unfortunately, in many people's businesses, shop fronts hide a lot of sins. And it's not uncommon for a third of your money to be going in your back pocket, pay the tax on 2/3 of your money. We, as a reputable company and with Christian morals, have never done that. And we've always paid the full amount. Call us stupid. That's how we've operated. And so when the lady came and said, I'm going to interview you now because you've been up to no good, I did explain that And you know what? She believed me. And she said, "We know you're not one of the on average guys to put money in your back pocket." And then she was walking out the door and she turned to me, "But I'm sorry to say, we're still going to do you," or words to that effect. "We're still going to charge you on the third you not pay." It cost us hundreds of thousands of pounds, and we did no wrong at all. And they knew that this guy was culpable, done it before, and that we were innocent. So I'm not friends with the United Kingdom Tax Office, as most people are not. But that is what is going on again with these footballers. And
Well,
what
I mean,
makes me
it is.
angry.
It's dreadful. I mean, when you're young, and a lot of them, and I don't wish to sound rude, but a lot of them, whilst they're very talented with the football, are not necessarily from high-end education, are they? And if I was 19, 20 years old and I'd earned a lot of money, and your boss says, "Oh, this is the way to do it," why would you question it? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. And if they've got very ordinary families who go, "Oh, well done, son," they necessarily wouldn't necessarily do some due diligence on it. I mean, you've got to look at the subject matter if you like, but I mean, the impact on these guys is no different, frankly, to the impact on the post office people. I mean, some of them have tried to take their own life. They are embarrassed by what happened. They feel stupid. They feel, it is just dreadful. I don't understand. That's what I was thinking the other day. How can they be whacked with something that they would already have paid tax on? So they've paid tax on those earnings. They give the earnings, whatever it is, to this asset company. They never received any benefit from it because they didn't do it right. So on what are they being taxed?
There's going to be a lot coming out of this. This is the story, the pre-story, folks.
Mm.
Stay tuned. You'll hear a lot more about not
And
only
I can't understand. I mean, I think the best thing they did, and good for BBC because they put a program out on it just as they did with the post office.
with ITV put that program out, it made a
That's
vast
true.
difference.
Sorry.
I
Yeah.
hope this does the same thing.
I hope it does because I had no idea that this went on. I mean, it didn't cross my mind. I've always said that when these young players get so much money, they should use an asset management or some away from when they maybe break a leg and they can't play again or something for the future, as opposed to sort of like gambling it, drinking it, or whatever, snorting it up. Do you know what I mean? Women. But I've always said they should be mentored, to protect themselves. But
But there
it's
again, who do you trust?
well, that's the trouble, you see, isn't it? That is the trouble. I mean, stick it under stick it under your mattress. I mean, or I suppose find your own property to invest in, because some of the things they were doing overseas were absolutely awful, and they would. I do think once you start investing overseas, you've got to be very careful.
You've got to know the local laws and rules and everything.
And exactly, but when you're 20, 21, more interested in playing football, you're not. You just hand it over and hope they know what they're doing, don't you?
Yeah,
And they haven't actually had enough of life experience, slick and charming they can be to get your support. They
yeah,
haven't had enough. They haven't been around the block enough to know how people get screwed over.
yeah. They're not cynical like me and thee, are they? We quickly
Exactly.
move on. And well, let's talk about arthritis. There are 170 different types of arthritis. Yes, arthritis.
I didn't know
And,
that.
vast amount of people suffer from it.
Hmm.
But you can be helped with a diet, apparently, and there's been a
Yeah, oh,
lot of
yes, yes.
publications out of the States on this at the moment. And let me give you some ideas of what you can do to help yourself. Number one, avoid fatty and fried foods to put your teeth in. And then butters and anything that's very fatty cheese. All cheese is fatty, I suppose, to some extent. So, can I give a customer warning at this stage? You're probably going to think suicide is the choice rather than follow this diet because it includes everything that you really like.
Everything you like, yeah.
Yeah, so it's fatty and fried food. The whole thing about arthritis, inflammation, of course.
Mm.
And that's what we've got to stop happening. It may be localized like the hands, and or gout in the extremities of the big toe, especially, which is horrendously painful.
Rogers over time has had it.
Oh dear me, there you go. So fatty foods, added sugars, number two, added sugars. Now, you've all seen this on packaging. Avoid that anyway for many medical reasons. The suggestion here is if you go for fruits, which is if you've got a sweetie tooth, go for fruits. But there are certain fruits that are much better in the sugar ratios than oranges are good, as an example. Cherries are good, strawberries are good. They are good for inflammation, and grapes is the other one that you can safely eat to get your sweet tooth going. The third thing, processed and red meats are bad for many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if you like your bacon, butter, and who
Also,
doesn't?
can I say tomatoes are very bad for
Yeah, we're
arthritis?
going to come to that. Well done. Tomatoes is another one. And surprisingly, although I must confess I had heard of this before, scallops and mussels. Now you either like them all. It's the Marmite thing, isn't it? But some people like them fresh, raw. Others cooked. I love scallops, to be honest. But they're not good for arthritis. The other thing, of course, I'm afraid, is what they call age foods. Nothing to do with your age in actual fact, it's the composition of the chemicals in a particular food. I've mentioned bacon. That is particularly bad the way it's treated. Fried chicken is another no-no, and steaks in moderation. But people, again, as I say, it's a diet that you don't want. If you want to or can put up with some arthritis, then you've got to see what suits you. Gluten is another one.
Mhm.
Now, that's coming into prominence these days, and especially with white bread, refined
Yes.
carbohydrates, uh,
Yeah.
white rice, pasta, and pastries.
Hmm.
So beware of the gluten because it really can upset you. But getting decent gluten bread, believe you me, because I've been guided against gluten, is very difficult.
And
We
very
eventually found
expensive.
a local baker that does it.
Well, the artisan
Oh,
bakers are gone out of business mostly, haven't they? That's where you get your really lovely bread, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. But if you can find a local bakery, because it's a one-off for them, it's going to cost you a fortune.
Oh, yeah.
And I look at what we're paying here for this very special, gorgeous tasting without gluten bread. It's made up of maize or maize and rice. So you can get round various things. We pay a fortune, €12 for a loaf. And you think, what? That's about £11, isn't it, in sterling at the moment. But you try and lift the loaf off the counter when they present it you. It weighs like a brick. Uh,
Yeah, I don't like that sort of stuff. I mean, soda bread, I don't like that. I don't like.
oh, well, it's not strictly sin gluten, but it's better. But having said that, you can't eat much of it.
No, yeah,
Therefore,
heavy.
it's not as
Yeah, it's
dear
heavy.
as you as
Mm.
you think, but it really is very nice tasting. And as a choice, you would go for it rather than having to go for it, which is
Yeah.
always a good test. The other thing, and this is directed especially for Marilyn here, alcohol. But you'll be pleased to know that beer and cider are the real criminals.
Oh, they
Yeah,
are.
beer and cider,
Yeah.
the occasional white or red in your case. Uh, then
I don't, I don't, I don't, well, I drank so much cider when I was a young teenager. I have cider vinegar tablets for the arthritis. So I've got it everywhere. I've got it in my shoulders. I've got it in my hips. Yeah, fortunately not in my ankles, which is good. But, I can thank my
very
grandmother
painful
for
in the
that.
ankle.
I can thank my granny for that. She always,
Genetics are a big part of this. So we carry on oils, sunflower, soya, and peanut. Avoid. So back to the olive oil again.
yeah,
Oh,
I
goodness
tend to
me.
nearly always use it. Coconut oil is supposed to be good as well, isn't it?
Or rapeseed's good.
Yeah, rapeseed's good. Yeah,
You can't have
yeah.
much coconut oil. It's nearly twice as fatty as butter.
Yeah, I don't like it. I bought some once. I thought, oh, this is disgusting.
Oh,
But no, I mean, yeah, rapeseed oil
it's
or olive
great
oil.
in curries, though. I tell you what.
I mainly use olive oil.
Yeah. Nightshade vegetables. Wow, there's your tomatoes that you mentioned, potatoes and peppers. They're not good. Coming to the end, high fat dairy, yogurts and kefir, and aged cheese. Now that's good
Oh
because
yeah, Stilton.
at last I've been given permission to go on some very
Oh,
strong
love it.
aged treats, which I love.
I do, I do. I love
But
Stilton. Uh, what's the other one? It's a lovely one. Is it Cambozola? The Italians do. It's like a blue brie almost. It's absolutely gorgeous.
it is. Make sure it's good and old. If not, leave
But
it.
I'd rather keep the pain. I'd take the painkillers and eat the food, please, because
Oh, I knew you would say that. Lastly, salty foods like processed foods, because a lot of them you look up the can and you see how much salt's in there.
But I always look on the back of everything. That's what I don't understand why people don't. If I'm going to buy something that, uh, you know, even Marks and Spencer's, I would say, I will look on the back to see has it got monosodium glutamate in it? What's it got in it? And I don't know why people don't do that. I mean, I always look. If I'm buying something for the first time, I think, oh, shall I try that? And I look at the back and see what's in it.
I tell you what shocked me, some more stats coming out and comparing Britain with America, because America have always been fans of homeschooling, as you know,
Mm.
in many states anyway. But America's so complicated. You've got to look what state you're in for various things, whether it be abortion, whether it be this sort of stuff, homeschooling. But now, believe it or not, Marilyn, and you're a fan of this, I know, 1 in 3 people in the United Kingdom are considering
Yeah.
homeschooling.
Mm.
Now, that is a revolution. That is very high compared with the 1 or 2% it used to be. They're
Uh,
so
uh,
fed up
I, I
with
would.
woke
Mm,
teaching
mm,
and
mm.
what their children are being taught, not what
Absolutely.
their parents wanting.
Absolutely. I would definitely, if I was starting off now, I would homeschool. And because it's all right, it's okay when you're in the primary, that's not so bad. But when you get to the secondary schools, but also with the primary, I mean, all this like, teaching children about transgender when they're 5 years old, it's
Exactly.
outrageous. It's outrageous. And the fact that the parents can't see the material that their children are being shown and is also outrageous. I wouldn't want, there's lots of things I wouldn't want. You've got the impact of kids watching pornography that causes all the harmful sexualized behaviors. You've got the drugs, you've got all sorts of stuff going on and the lack of respect, massive. And as you know, I wrote that article for an educational magazine the other day, which you are kindly look through, and they didn't print it because it was so honest that they were worried about putting off teachers that are starting in the
Oh,
profession.
it's terrible. It wasn't outrageous in any way. It was straightforward, honest
I
stuff.
know, honest, and they said, "Oh, we don't." They have 20,000 schools and they're responsible for compliance. And they said, "Oh, it's excellently written, but we don't. We'll save it if you don't mind because we don't want to start the term with something that might put off teachers." But it's the
This is the
truth.
problem with the whole country. We don't realize
Exactly,
it.
exactly. Let's hide the truth.
Everybody's frightened to do anything.
Exactly. And I just laughed out loud when I saw that. Because I did actually think to myself, I bet they don't print it. And it was an honest
Would you
example.
be
So
kind?
people know that are listening to this, it was a comparison of where teaching was and how it is now.
Yeah.
And how actually the government allowing all this stuff with trans stuff in little tiny infant schools, that the government is itself abusive because they're allowing it. And it's shocking. It's shocking. I would definitely homeschool. And also, you're not remote. You do belong to an organization of people. So you have maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, even 20 other families that are also homeschooling. So you would organize, your sports. You would organize events out. You're not just isolated, you with this child or children. You are part of an association of a group. You know what I mean? So you have support. They meet up. You have the same sort of type of things, but it's not in the school. I mean, one of my ambassadors, they've homeschooled their three children all the time. And I do think the only thing I do think though, it is a good thing to hide behind if you're up to no good. There should be a register.
There
There
should
should be a
also
register
be
of who
coming.
is homeschooled, and also there should be checks and balances to make sure that what you're doing is on point and that the child is not being diminished by the homeschooling, that you are doing the right academic stuff.
Yes, and the important thing also is to get in your area other people that are doing this
That's
so
right.
that they can learn from each other,
That's right.
and
Absolutely
more
right.
important, get the children together.
That's
So,
what they do, and they
uh,
do. So
yeah,
it's not just yourself. There
you've
is
got that interaction.
yeah, absolutely. You are affiliated with others as well. So it's not, then and there is support for the person who's doing the homeschooling. So, I would definitely do it. I wouldn't want to subject my child to all this stuff. I really wouldn't.
No. Well, golly, we're not far off the end, and golly,
Oh, God, already, it's true.
we've hardly took. I tell you what, we must cover though two items before we go. The first one is entitled, and it's not my title. Uh, it's This Lying Government,
Mm.
and the newspapers are full of that particular title. And as an example, people are not trusting anything that comes out of this present government's mouth. Should
Well,
we
how can you?
anything comes out of any politician, you might say, fair comment. But particularly, we are in uncharted territory here. I'll explain. As pure example, hotels. The Labour Party are saying, oh, look what we've done since we've been in office a year and a bit. We have decreased the number of hotels from 400 to just over 200. And you think, well, hang on, that sounds wrong, but if the government says it, we accept it. Well, in one sense, it's true, but the other sense, it isn't, because actually there's been an increase in illegal immigrants
Yes.
in hotels.
Yeah,
There's
and they are setting up
all
more
they've done is,
hotels.
of course, put
Yeah.
them in bigger hotels.
Yeah, and there's
Now,
three of
that
them.
is an outrageous
I know, I
lie.
know. It's because I know for a fact there's three what were really lovely hotels that have been taken over this summer in Bournemouth.
Yeah. And
So it's another lie. I mean, whatever he says, there's nothing that was promised in the manifesto. And if I hear the word smash the gangs, I feel like smashing his face against something. You can't smash the gangs. You've actually got to do something far more innovative further upstream. And I still don't understand, which we spoke about earlier this week, why they can't do what was something like the Nightingale hotels, build them quickly in completely remote areas where there's no transport or anybody to upset, and put them in there, have it guarded, and process people there.
Marilyn, in times of war, and we are in times of war, then they can build prefabs, they can
Absolutely.
build temporary buildings,
Exactly.
and we can do the same, but there's no political will.
They don't want to, exactly. And they
Okay,
don't want to because they love, I mean, I still can't get over the king going on about in his speech the other day about all the stuff that Muslims have done for this country. But I mean, what? Yes, some have, but what about the rest? I mean, he is so woke. He is a bit of a numpty, without a doubt. He is, honestly, he really is. He doesn't seem to get to grips with anything.
not reality in many things. Right, we got to finish, but we can't go without saying Knickers. We're going to talk about Knickers. Oh yes, why not? Uh, my nearest and dearest has decided she wants a wardrobe of knickers, drawers. Yes, think about that. Yeah, all right. So there we go. And I said, well, look, we're not the most mobile pair at the moment. We're recovering from nasty accidents. We're building a hate up to the physio terrorists that are treating us. But at the moment, it's not that easy to get around shops. So people, whatever you think of them, are driven to Amazon because it's an easy way to get stuff in. certainly it's an easy way to get knickers in. And being the type of person I was, I thought she's not going to handle this website. I'll have to do it because it can get
I
complicated.
dread to think what you've ordered.
Well, it's not arrived yet. That's the other problem, but we won't go into that. The biggest problem is that I thought, let's give her a good choice. So I started off by putting in the Amazon search engine. This is we've got a search engine in UK, Amazon, and one in Spain. So as you're looking at the Spanish one, you've got problems with sizes straight away because they're completely different. Their medium size is small. So I sort of take an educated guess and going through to the Amazon sort, being the wicked person I am, I actually printed in novelty knickers because I thought I wanted to give it the full range. My goodness me! I
Goodness
mean,
me.
if you got this in a magazine oh yes, you know what I mean. You can get the magazine.
It's
Is
still
that
married to
upside
him.
down? I've never come across anything like it in my life. I thought I was on Pornhub or something. So I thought, no, she's not going to like that. So I went to the ordinary ones, and I had no idea about these things because there's long ones, there's short ones, there's
But he doesn't want bloomers.
yeah, well, there's those as
You
well.
know, a divorce is very expensive, may I tell you?
Oh, you didn't tell me it's there. So I eventually got her to watch the screen and say, "Well, is that all right, dear?" And is there anything a bit longer in the? We won't go into that sort of detail, but I'll tell you why I mentioned it. Not strictly because of Knickers. Amazon Beware has gone down the route of Ryanair. You're trapped. You know, when you finish up having to pay penalties with Ryanair, they deliberately out to trap you. Either when you arrive there at the check-in desk,
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
and it's the same with Amazon in many things. You will always find they charge you an extra fortune for sending this is Spain anyway through the post or whatever service
Yeah.
they use. But you can get rid of it as long as you buy something else. It's all part of the game. And if you check the wrong box, that's another problem. So it took me half a day to this. I thought, this is just not on. I could have gone to the shop and limped around the blooming place. But there you go. Beware, Amazon are out to get you. And
Could have gone into Marks and Spencer's for you and posted them to you.
well, no, that's the other trap. And I'll mention at the same time, a joint friend of ours, sent me his latest book. And he said, oh, we can have this. Bless him. He sent it. It was duly signed. I said, don't expect this to arrive in the next blankety blank.
Yeah.
Because they use donkeys here in Spain. The post office
Yeah.
is awful.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it didn't turn up, whereupon I had to go all the way to a post office where there's no parking and get the thing. And you know, because they do hate English Brexiteers all over Europe, even in Spain, I had to pay an excess charge for the frontier guard, €8 to get the thing out. But you've left the EU, therefore we're going to charge you. Oh, that's hate speech, if anything,
Well,
isn't it?
don't worry, we'll be going back in it soon if Keir Starmer has his way.
Well, that could be an advantage. No, it's not. Not worth paying. I'd sooner pay me €8. They're going to throw me out of Spain and Portugal now, but we must finish. Having finished on a subject of knickers, that's all I can say.
Very funny. I want to see them when they arrive.
I want to see them when they're out. We must go. We're getting in deep.
Have a good weekend.